Good morning, friends. Stephen Benoon here with Israeli News Live, and I wanted to discuss with you guys a couple of emails that I have received. This one here, but in fact, both of these are coming out of Israel, and this one, of course, was the meeting between Defense Minister Benny Gantz and the Palestinian Authority Chairman Mahmoud Abbas at his home in Rosh Ha'ayin. As the email goes, the last time the Palestinian Authority chairman came to Israel for an official political meeting was in 2010. This is the second meeting between the two since the formation of the government. And the meeting, of course, as they put in here, was attended by the coordinator of operations, Major General Hassan Aliyan, as well as the Minister of Civil Affairs in the Palestinian Authority, Hassan al-Sheikh, and the head of the Palestinian Security Services, Mayed Faraya. And the meeting lasted about 2.5 hours, partly in the broad forum and partly in private. Now, as you look at the issues that are surrounding the meeting that they speak about here, and then, of course, the Times of Israel just put out yesterday about this meeting also, and, of course, was blasting Gantz for having the meeting, Netanyahu specifically, but Gantz also goes on to say in this article here, he appeared to swipe at an opposition leader, Benjamin Netanyahu, suggesting that the former prime minister was less than forthcoming about his government ties with the Palestinian Authority in the past years. As he says here, unlike those who have talks under the table, I chose to hold them openly in Ramallah and Rosh Ha'ayin. Now, of course, the meeting, there was a media blackout on this meeting until after it was done, but it was announced that they were going to have it. And even though they're not saying it here, I do believe that this has a lot to do with the coming Third Temple, that they're preparing the New World Order, putting things into motion. And that's one reason why Mahmoud Abbas is also requesting that 25 of the veteran Fatah prisoners be released that happened back during the signing of the Oslo Accords. But as the friend of mine that emailed me about this is that Gantz did not respond positively or negatively to the request and told him that the issue will be investigated. So there's being concessions made, and so you have to really kind of watch what's developing around the Middle East, what's going on in all the different nations, even this new posture of Russia being more bold, getting involved with Syria. In fact, Russia getting involved with Syria and working with Syria on security issues, including flying with them air defense campaigns on the border of Israel, could possibly speak to other issues that we have. Now, this is an old article here from 2020. Turkey, Iran, and Russia unite to slam U.S. oil deal in Syria. But while that's being said there, I get an email such as this one right here, where it says USA and Europe just gave support for Turkey to claim oil in Syria and East Mediterranean subsea floor gas fields in exchange for naval and military support against Russia. Not to include Greek-Israel claims. Israel and Greece are not happy with this. Astutely will try to take everything. Turkey wants to control the Black Sea with Ukraine. Russia's out and out of Syria in the East Mediterranean. Russia has got no business here. Their port at Lakia will be destroyed if need be, just like in Beirut, that bomb that just detonated in the volcano of Tonga. That was an antimatter type bomb, same as used in Beirut, no radioactivity, but stronger than a nuke. Nukes are not really needed anymore, as he put. Silent wars and invisible wars, that's no real secret. Everyone's intelligence agencies knows this. U.S. has traded this above to Turkey for military support against Russia. So these are the things that are going on right now, and it lets you know that the situation in that region is very volatile, and we can certainly anticipate to see more destabilization. As I mentioned, though, one of the things that I find fascinating is that, so one of the big concerns that I have as I analyze the situation that's going on over there, the posturing is clearly in the direction for a one world government setup. The meeting going on between Abbas and the Israelis no doubt part of it. Like they said, and part of this meeting was done in secrecy. The concessions that is being requested by Abbas, clearly, he's asking quite a bit from Israel, so there must be quite a bit Israel is asking of him. Now you're seeing that division of power. Turkey trying to be brought on the side of the U.S. against Russia. Of course, Israel's not liking that from what we're seeing from the intel that we get out of Israel. But at the same time, you can't help but wonder why these alliance changes are taking place. At the same time, we have the situation in Ukraine, the destabilization there, that issue being closer and closer to war all the time. So I'm continuing to monitor what's going on and to try to bring this into a perspective, because it is globalist moves. It is moving towards the New World Order. You're going to see that tri-state, Egypt, Israel, and Saudi Arabia as part of the New World Order. I have not forgotten about doing that video on that, because that is a very serious issue that has everything to do with the geopolitical situation around the world, especially in the Middle East and even in Europe. There was a large number of Jewish people moved from Ukraine to Israel, which unfortunately I believe will be used as cannon fodder, only to jack up their numbers in order to bring about the ideology of Zohar and Kabbalah prophecies, that so many more millions have to be killed. So these things are alarming, and but we want to look at this also from that biblical perspective. Did get up pretty early this morning, about 4:30, so I'm hoping to be able to get quite a bit done today, and especially the videos I've been promising to you guys over on Patreon. I've got a ton of those that I have got to get recorded, so I'm hoping that I can at least get one or two up over there today as well, to share just some things that are going on. And maybe even part of that conference that we did here in Orlando, I might be able to share over on Patreon a little section that I did as well. I did not record the part about Kennedy, though, because of the sensitivity of that information as of right now. But that'll be coming. Eventually I will share that with you guys as well, but there's some reasons behind that that's not been shared as of yet. I'm Stephen Ben-Nun. You're listening to Israeli News Live. Thank you and have a blessed day. And thank you, too, by the way, your support. It is always appreciated, your support to our work, the ministry that we do here, Israeli News Live, here at .org, and, of course, right on the right side. Oh, and by the way, on our website, that is the video from where I spoke at the conference there, DNA manipulation. I think you'll find that interesting. I did not share that over on Patreon because you get into those words there that you're not allowed to use, so even Patreon doesn't allow that. So I think you might find that interesting on the project that we're currently working on right now in research about DNA manipulation and what's happening to you right now, especially if you have had to or chose to make that decision to do something that I would never do. But I don't hold that against people. I'm just saying that video there does reveal that, and I don't know if I reveal it deep enough, so I may have to do a separate video on that issue specifically.